Okay, so in this reading, I looked at the connection between ROSÉ and CHA EUNWOO of Astro. Everyone was asking me to read about them. I didn't know they had a connection, and honestly, like, do they? I don't know. You be the judge. I was just reading the energy. Of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! Okay, Rose is on the left. Oh. EUNWOO is on the right. This is the energy in between. Rosé is the Eight of Swords, which is like negative thoughts being bound up by your thoughts. I feel like he occupies a part of her mind, or at least she reviews or reflects on him a lot, or maybe their connection together or something like that, but it's in like a negative way. He showed up as a Five of Wands in the reverse position, which is like getting over pettiness in some way. But it also kind of reads as like, I don't really think about you. I used to and I don't anymore. At least the energy's giving that. And then the Six of Pentacles is sometimes an inequality, and especially if you notice he has more pentacles than she does. To me, it's almost like she gave more in their connection. I don't know if they've dated, although like already it's kind of giving like they have history. Rosé, oh, I never know what their signs are. She's like a Capricorn, I'm not sure. The Tower, Three, okay, well, Rosé showed up as the Queen of Swords. To me, that's like, I'm holding my tongue. Like, there's a lot she could say, but she's not saying it. It seems almost like to spare him, or maybe to like dangle something over him. It's kind of cool. Like, I like the energy. It's giving like, to be honest though, it's also kind of reading like he did her dirty in some way. Especially, I don't know what their connection is at all. I've only just been asked to read on them. I don't know how they know each other. I don't know if there's evidence that they've dated. But this card literally is giving like he was seeing other people, maybe while he was talking to her, or this card sometimes can talk about a lack of community or a lack of like harmony, but it's usually in groups or like with friends and stuff. But because it's three people in this card, it would be like, oh, like the story being painted so far is almost like they were talking, or maybe we're officially dating, but it seems almost like talking. It's where it's like neither of you have confirmed that you're dating, but it feels like it, you know what I mean? But then she finds out that he's like been talking to somebody else, and she's like, what were we doing then? That's what the energy is giving. The Tower though is sort of like I don't know if Rosé, like, because I did a reading on her between her and Ethan, I'm not really sure. Anyway, that guy that was in her music video, it's up on my channel, but in it was like the energy was giving like she has like codependent tendencies, or like it's almost like she gets into like unsupportive relationships with like other people. I don't know if it's like a self-esteem thing or a codependency thing. I'm seeing this pop up again though. It's almost like either Rosé just like attracts people who like mistreat her, or like that she just falls into situations like this. But it's not as like, it's just like somebody who like maybe doesn't respect her as much as like, you would if you were interested in somebody, you know what I mean? The Tower in the reverse position, that was like the dodging of a bullet, but it's also like literally this reads almost like you should have said something and you didn't. But this seems more on Rosé's side. So it's like, let's say for example they were seeing each other and he cheated on her, and it's sort of like she in that situation was sort of like, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking to you and I'm gonna like swallow my pride. And she should have said something. She should have been like, fuck you, you know what I mean? And like really let him have it, but she didn't. That's what that card energetically is. Anyway, the Page of Pentacles, an offering. He stood up as the Emperor in the reverse position, which is like being out of control, a loss of power. And the Hermit is like getting a cold shoulder, being given a cold shoulder almost. Or like it's also sometimes like an abrupt end in communication. So it's sort of like you were close and you're no longer close. Especially when it comes to like talking or like sharing stuff together, you know what I mean? But this is like an offering though, and it's interesting because the Hermit is sort of like the Hermit is facing away from her and towards him. I don't know I don't know what their lore is, but again it's almost like he lost control or power in some way. But it's almost like Rosé's like, oh, like give me another chance, let's try again, let's, you know, it's bizarre. Like Rosé is respectfully, I mean, you know I love Blackpink, you know I'm a huge stan, like I love all the girlies, but Rosé kind of gives like codependent, or like she doesn't have like strong confidence with guys, you know, like she's just very like, no, like please stay, like that's what the energy is giving. I'm so sorry. It's interesting though, like she's not just like, okay, like fuck you, I'm gonna go on with my life. She's very like, oh, like why did you do that, like please come back to me. This is like getting over a heartbreak. His energy, by the way, is very like that happened and then just like keeps moving on, you know what I mean? It seems like Rosé still has attachments to that, because the thing is, it's like time doesn't really heal trauma. You just kind of like sit with it until you deal with it. It seems like Rosé will reflect on whatever their connection was, because it seems like it was good for a while and then it wasn't good suddenly, and I think she reflects on whatever happened between them. The Wheel of Fortune is good luck. It's also time moving. Energy in between is the Four of Swords in the reverse position, which is like activity, getting started again, like communication. I don't know if they like talk, but literally his energy is sort of like, I couldn't care less. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know if that's just how he is all the time or how he is in connection to Rosé, because it seems sort of like related to Rosé specifically. He kind of gives like Playboy a little bit, but it's not as like out there and as messy as that. But if you like just know him or around him, you're like, yeah, he's a great guy. I don't know, but sometimes this can also be kind of like being enshrined or something, kind of like a sarcophagus. Today, Junior. She showed up as the 5-6 of Wands, which is like her energy keeps moving towards him, wanting to be next to him, wanting to. I don't know if it's like there's something she wants to say to him, or it's like, but there's sort of like, it kind of is giving like if he asked her to like go out again, she'd be like, really? But it seems like there was like some level of hurt that went on. Ace of Wands. I think he is physically attracted to Rosé, but he doesn't really seem like he cares that much about her. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like he like looked at pictures of her or like watched her like fan cams from time to time, like if she was like on his feed, you know? But he like doesn't really like care one way or another about her. The Magician in the reverse position is like manifestation, not being able to get what you want. She got the upper hand. I mean, that makes sense if you look at just their careers, like as fans. It's like more people I would say know who Rosé is than who EunWoo is. But it's interesting, like, I don't know, like, Rosé is actually a bit surprising, I think, when it comes to, like, the value that she gives, like, how she views herself in the context of men. It's almost like she, like, I guess is, like, putting men on a pedestal almost. It's odd. I wouldn't really have expected that from her, but I think she has maybe some confidence issues or something regarding that. That's her, Queen of Wands, which is being disempowered in some way. He showed up as, this is like transitioning and not transitioning, but it's towards her energy, and this is like apprehension. There is history between them. I know that for certain. Like the energy is really strongly giving that they were in some way close. More than it's hard to say because it's like there's not a lot of like strong relationship cards. So I feel like either they were in a relationship and it was a really long time ago, and also I feel like if they were in a relationship, he wouldn't think that. He would be like, we're dating? You know, sometimes guys will do that. Or it's like, you think that you're together, and he's like, what are you talking about? And will kind of look at you like you're crazy to make you think that you're crazy, but he knows what you're doing. Ugh, whatever, I'm sorry, I'm getting mad. Okay. It's odd, though. They have history, for sure. And Rosé is a lot more connected than he is to, like, whatever their connection is. This was, like, apprehension, though. And I think he's somewhat I don't think she would ever do this, to be honest. Rosé seems like somebody who is good at keeping a secret. But it's sort of like, sometimes he'll think about, like, oh, like, I wonder if she'll ever talk about, like, what happened between us. It doesn't seem like something, like, terrible, but it just seems like, almost like, if she, like, I don't know, let's say, like, Rosé starts to become even more, like, of a Western artist and starts, like, you know, like, spilling tea and being messy. When, in a way, K-pop idols typically are not. And she started talking about him, and he was like, yeah, like, one time I was dating this idol, and, like, he cheated on me, and everyone is starting to, like, look into it, and they figure out it's CHA EUNWOO. Like, I think he has fears about that. The thing is, Rosé would never do that. Energetically, it's not giving, like, she would become somebody who is very messy and just kind of, like, I mean, I could see her writing about it in, like, a song or something, but she would use a lot of illusions. In some way, though, he has, like, his guard up with her. It's like, his energy is, like, I don't trust you, but it's, like, misplaced almost. It's maybe because he, like, doesn't quite understand, like, why Rosé wants to be next to him or with him or something. I don't know. Knight of Swords. Looking back satisfied. That is like on Rose's side, the Knight of Swords is like misguided, or like erraticness almost, or like saying things. Oh, he might have been mentioned in her album. I really didn't take like a deep dive into Rosé's album. I listened through it once, but I'm not someone who's taking like a fine-tooth comb to like her lyrics and stuff like that. But she might have alluded to this. Oh, is that why he was apprehensive? I think she has already alluded to them in some way or another. This also might not have been a released song. This could have been like a leaked song, like a demo or like a producer or something like that didn't make it on the album. But in some way or another, she's mentioned their connection before, and I think that's why he's apprehensive. Because it's sort of like, you know, fans will like put two and two together, and you're like, how did you figure that out? Anyway, their connection, whatever it was, it feels like it's older. It feels like it ended a long time ago. It feels like they weren't together very long, but it seems like whatever it was very like passionate and fiery, and then kind of like a shooting star in the night, you know? It's like there and then it's not there, but when it was there, it was great. The Hanged Man is indeed from a new perspective and looking back satisfied. Why is he looking back satisfied? Page of Cups in the reverse position. Control. I have kind of empathy for CHA EUNWOO because like his energy is conflicted almost. Like, of course, like he lost like a band member like a year or two ago, which is difficult. But there's also like, I just feel like he has a lot of like conflicts within him that like are emotional in nature, and like I think these are things that fans wouldn't necessarily know about but going on in his private life. which I think make him not like the best partner you could have. And that's not an excuse, but like I feel empathy for him because of that. I don't think he is necessarily the best at either loving himself or taking care of himself. I kind of feel like he might have confidence issues as well. I don't know if that shows up, but in some way, like I see him like overcompensating for like, it's almost like somebody who doesn't feel very good on the inside, so they overcompensate and they end up being like mean or mistreating people or something like that. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't even think he's a mean person, but almost like his insecurities get in the way of him having confidence and like being with somebody. And I think Rosé was kind of collateral damage, and whatever that was. I'm hesitant to say they dated because it's sort of like, I think there's disagreement between two of them and if they dated or not, you know? So it's sort of like the energy is unclear because neither of them are that clear on it. Rosé showed up as a Page of Cups in the reverse position. Her cards, all of them have kind of been like this card sometimes can talk about immaturity, but she's also gotten cards about like things being misdirected or being disempowered in some way, or her energy is not well like directed. I don't know if she's like, I mean, I've only read on her between this and the other reading that was a romantic reading, but it just seems like she in some way, like, I don't know if it's like she has a bad picker when it comes to like choosing guys or something like that, but there's something around her and like men, it's not very empowered. I'm not sure. She needs to listen to her own music like IDK. Oh my god, lovesick girls. Is she a lovesick girl? Strength card. I feel like Rosé, can I say something bold and brave? I kind of feel like she has a little bit of a like I can change him type of mentality. I also think she likes choosing men who are maybe like obviously not the most like healthy people, because I think she kind of likes a bad boy, but not necessarily always in a classic way. It's just sort of like somebody who you could tell is a little bit maybe rough around the edges, or maybe has some sort of like emotional damage going on. I don't know, it's like that doesn't work out. that's not gonna work out in your favor, girly, but from experience. Two of Cups, that's like the severing. Yeah. I figured she would get that. I feel like he wouldn't get that, because it just seems like she thought what they were and it wasn't what they were. This is like the fruits of your labor. Oh, did he use her? Is that what I'm trying to figure out? Because that could be it too, because like there were a lot of like almost like a comeuppance by being associated with her or connected with her. Even if it wasn't like publicly, it would be like he got access to a producer that she likes to work with or something, or like access to a photographer or something like that. Like in some way, like she introduced him to somebody at like a party they were at together or something, because it's sort of like having powerful friends. They can be beneficial, you know? Ace of Cups, though, is like emotional unsatisfaction. It seems like there's unfinished business between the two of them. It seems like he's unwilling to like give her the time of day, and she's still very caught up about this. It makes sense. It would be like literally what it kind of reads as, like he was talking to other people and like she thought they were exclusive, and he was like, what are you talking about? And kind of made her feel like a little crazy. And again, I don't know literally anything about this guy. I feel like he's really beloved in the public. I'm not sure. He doesn't seem like he is a bad person. It seems like he is just one of those guys that's like a little bit emotionally insecure and doesn't really know how to be with somebody and like love somebody, because they're still like kind of shaky on that in themselves, which I have great empathy for. That's very human. And also, Rosé girly, you need to get your confidence up. You need to choose someone better. Who should Rosé date? Oh my god, leave a comment. Anyway, I wish everyone good luck.